In Carroll County, Georgia, where neighbors knew each other's name and locked doors were optional, the unthinkable happened.
Police in Carroll County are still looking for a person or people responsible for gunning down a couple inside their Carrollton home. The Carroll County Sheriff's Office says deputies found the husband and wife early Thursday morning in their bedroom. Now Kristen and James Brock's families are left grieving, and we spoke with Kristen's father, who says the two were together for almost 10 years and were raising 3 children. He also tells us nothing in the home was missing and there were no signs of a break-in.
If there was something they wanted in the house, they could have taken it and they probably would never woke up. But for some reason, they wanted them dead. And I want to know why.
2 beloved parents murdered in their own bed. Discovered by their 5-year-old daughter, reported by their teenage daughter, 17-year-old Sarah Grace Patrick. At their funeral, Sarah stood at the pulpit and delivered a tearful eulogy, and she ended it with 2 words: "I'm sorry." And months later, she was arrested by police. This is the story of Sarah Grace Patrick, and the case of a TikTok teen who went from grieving daughter to prime suspect. Let's play it back. Let's rewind the crime. It was early morning when police were called to the Brocks' home. The 911 call came from 17-year-old Sarah Grace Patrick, and she told them she found her parents, Kristen, the girl's birth mother, and James, the girl's stepfather, shot to death in their bed. Her 5-year-old sister had discovered the bodies first. When police arrived, they noticed something odd. No signs of forced entry, nothing stolen, but one door was left ajar. The scene was chilling but strangely clean. No shell casings were reported publicly. No murder weapon was recovered, and James, the girl's stepfather, who lay alongside the deceased, Kristen, was a convicted felon. He wasn't allowed to legally own a gun, and the family wasn't known to be gun owners. So the crime scene was anything but clear-cut. The Brocks had no known enemies or disputes, so no apparent motive. There was no sign of forced entry, and there was no gun. It would be months before any arrests were made. Kristen and James Brock were remembered as warm, generous members of the Catalyst Church. At their funeral, Sarah Grace took the microphone and ended her eulogy with 2 words that sent shivers through the crowd.
Jamie and Mama would have thanked y'all too. I love you guys, and so do I. And so did I. I'm sorry.
Was it grief, guilt, or something far more calculated? Sarah Grace wasn't just a high schooler. She was a TikToker. And after the murders, her account lit up with videos, posts mourning her parents, begging for healing, and presenting herself as a grieving daughter who had suffered an unthinkable loss. She even messaged true crime creators asking them to cover the case, her case. True crime creator allegedly reportedly got a message.
Her parents live. She messaged me back on June 3rd and just said, search up Brock case. So I said, Brock Turner? Brock who? She said, Kristen and James Brock. Hold on. They're my parents. And out of nowhere, a random Thursday night in February, someone came in my house with me and my 5-year-old sister, and my parents left them for me and my little sister to wake up to.
A user named Sarah Grace asked her to cover the Brock case. Said it would be, quote, a really big hit. She sent photos, details of the crime scene, and claimed she, quote, didn't hear anything the night of the murders. It felt less like grief and more like a performance. Investigators later confirmed that Sarah Grace was operating a TikTok account, and her digital trail became a central piece of evidence. Was she narrating her own crime in real time? Could a thirst for TikTok views have been the motive, a daughter manufacturing true crime content by committing one? On July 8th, nearly 5 months after the killings, Sarah Grace Patrick was arrested and charged with the murders of her mother and stepfather. She was 17, but was charged as an adult.
Today, we can confirm that an arrest has been made in the case. Kristen Brock's 17-year-old daughter, Sarah Grace Patrick, has been taken into custody and charged with 2 counts of murder and 2 counts of aggravated assault.
Here's the mugshot of the alleged killer, Sarah Grace Patrick. Her mugshot was given to us by the Carroll County Sheriff. Sarah Grace was...
Police haven't released much at all in the way of evidence that led to Sarah Grace's arrest. If she pulled the trigger, where did she get the gun? Where did she dispose of it? Did the officers on scene test for gunshot residue on her hands? What exactly was the motive for killing her mother and stepfather? Many questions still remain unanswered. The biggest one, of course, is how were 2 adults killed, each shot multiple times with what's believed to be a 9mm pistol, and who pulled the trigger? Some believe Sarah Grace acted alone. Others aren't so sure. Her grandfather mentioned one other thing. Sarah didn't want to live with her parents anymore. She had talked about moving in with her biological father, someone she described as more lenient. And while no one has been named as an accomplice, the sheriff's office has confirmed the investigation is still going on, and that additional arrests are possible. So is Sarah Grace a calculating killer, or a pawn in something more complicated? For now, the story ends in a jail cell. Sarah Grace Patrick awaits her next hearing on August 11th, and she maintains her innocence. And her community is left in stunned silence. So the question remains, was this a murder born of rage? A manipulative cry for attention? Or something far darker than any of us want to believe? If you found this story compelling, be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. This has been a Rewind the Crime production, and just like every case, let's play it back. Let's rewind the crime.